Friends in the Green Party, it's good to be together with you as we gather for the National Convention. My name is Seth Kaper-Dale, and 3.5 years ago, I began a run for governor of New Jersey as the Green Party candidate. I got less than 1% of the vote, despite attending 180 speaking and canvassing events over the course of 1 year, despite canvassing from Bergen County in the north to Cape May County in the south. I got 1% despite many amazing and dedicated Green Party activists and members who worked with me and encouraged me and put in tremendous time and energy to my campaign. I carried myself with dignity from October of 2016 through November of 2017, holding the place of candidate, and for that sustained period, I imagined myself winning and actually being tasked with the responsibilities of administration, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. I'm not naive. I knew that the candidate I was running against had a personal fortune of nearly $1 billion and had come in and bought the Democratic Party county leadership prior to the primary cycle. He had a good advantage. And I knew that the other potential contenders had dropped out of the game before the primary. I knew deals had been made. Part of me knew I was not winning, but I'm glad that that was a very small part of me. The rest of me was getting ready for day one in office. For a year, I would get up, read the paper each morning with an eye toward how would I handle this scenario? I imagined myself administrating. I would ask myself, if I actually won this thing, what are all the pieces that need to be in place to be a governor? How many commissioners are there? How are all the departments linked together? How might I change that? How might I work with what's there? And this is important. I imagined myself administrating without being beholden to a wealthy few in power. I imagined myself administrating out of the platform of people, planet, and peace over profit. I imagined myself administrating through difficult moments by listening to the people themselves and out of the place of power gained by listening, then acting decisively within the administrative functions of being governor. One could ask, isn't that a waste of time, Seth, imagining yourself in office when you are totally a long shot? And my answer would be not at all. And that's what I think makes the Green Party so different than all other grassroots activist-related organizations that I've ever been a part of. The Green Party doesn't just care about issues. It cares about putting people into elections and winning some so that a new kind of administration of communities can occur in this country. Lots of social and political movements are about bringing about change by telling our leaders that we demand change. But the Green Party says, let's create slates of real leaders who can get inside the halls of power, ready to work with people, bringing about desired change. And even in near impossible elections, let's create slates who can imagine what it would look like to be in power. We need people inside the halls of power who are beholden to the people, not to other people within the halls of power and to their wealthy donor base. And even if we don't win, we need people like me to imagine myself winning, to imagine myself listening to the people, to imagine myself not being beholden to the layers upon layers of corruption that exist in our two-party system. People talk about the art of compromise in politics, and I know that compromise is sometimes very important. But the art of compromise is different than having your ethics and your plans for justice compromised over and over. Whenever I hear my Democratic House member Frank Pallone speak, I think of this. He cannot imagine Medicare for all because he says the others will never agree to it. He cannot imagine the Green New Deal. Again, he might be able to imagine it, but he's so blocked by his thoughts of what's pragmatic that he won't dream. I'm sure he's freaking out right now about language like defund the police. He cannot imagine. As our nation has erupted over the past month, I've thought a lot about the year that I was running for governor. I was pushing for a demilitarization of the police. I was pushing for independent prosecutors whenever police were involved in a use of force incident. I was pushing for consent decrees to bring about systemic change in police departments. I was pushing for the redistricting of New Jersey schools so that we didn't have educational islands of racial isolation. I was pushing for the closing of youth prisons. I was pushing for the commutation of sentences for those with marijuana possession charges. I was demanding a racial impact audit that would be used to review all legislation before it was voted on across the different categories of legislation, not just police-related things or education-related things. Some of those topics I'd already committed to before the campaign process, and others I learned about by listening to Black communities around the state. But it was important to imagine myself in a seat where I could actually be part of administrating the deliverables for a new day. It was important for me, and it was also important for my opponents. And this is where I'd like to end today. During campaign seasons, lots of promises are made in response to those who cry out for justice and peace. And usually, the Democrats don't have anyone to their far progressive left, so they can just nod their heads and say, "I'm on it," without anyone else saying how real change would be implemented. So Greens, my message to all candidates today in 2020 and to the party is imagine yourself winning. Imagine yourself winning school board elections and elections for sheriff. Imagine yourself winning assembly seats and Senate seats. Imagine yourself winning the House and Senate. Imagine yourself winning gubernatorial and presidential elections, and begin to do the hard work of imagining how you, without being beholden to the duopoly and only beholden to the people, will administratively implement the changes the people are calling for. Win or lose, bringing real ideas for administrative implementation is something that the Green Party offers to this country, so desperate for administrative creativity, ethical renewal, and hope. I am a Christian pastor, that's my day job, and I cannot help but see through the lenses of my faith tradition. Imagine a new commonwealth arriving, a new society that overlays this one, where beauty and justice embrace. Imagine yourself leading it or being among those just ones who are leading it. Win or lose, part of what we offer in the Green Party is to show the world that it can be done and how it will be done. Peace to you.